What if I told you the British Army once used a stage magician to fight the Nazis? A man who made tanks disappear, cities reappear, and convinced German pilots to bomb empty desert sands instead of real targets. This isn't fiction. This is the story of Jasper Maskelyne, the magician who turned war itself into an illusion. Before the war, Jasper Maskelyne was a famous magician, performing sleight of hand tricks in packed London theaters. He made coins vanish, escaped lockboxes, and inherited the legacy of his father and grandfather, both legendary illusionists. But when World War II began, Maskelyne believed his skills could serve a higher purpose. Instead of performing for applause, he wanted to perform for survival, and so he joined the British Army. At first, the military didn't take him seriously. A magician fighting Hitler? It sounded absurd. But Jasper was about to prove that, in a world of bombs and bullets, illusions could save lives. In 1940, Maskelyne was assigned to the Royal Engineers Camouflage Section, a secretive group of artists, designers, and illusionists tasked with deceiving enemy forces. Their mission: make real things disappear and fake things look real. Jasper quickly became the creative spark of the unit. He built dummy tanks out of canvas and wood that fooled enemy reconnaissance planes. From above, they looked identical to real armored divisions. Shadows, glints, everything meticulously crafted. He called it strategic illusion. But that was just the beginning. When British forces moved to North Africa, the barren desert became Jasper's new stage, and his biggest illusion yet. In 1941, the Germans were preparing to bomb Alexandria, the vital Allied port in Egypt. Losing it could cripple British supply lines. So Maskelyne proposed something insane. Let's make the city disappear. Using mirrors, lights, and smoke, his team created a fake version of Alexandria miles away from the real city. They built fake harbor lights, fake ships, even fake anti-aircraft fire. When German bombers arrived at night, they dropped their payloads on the decoy, bombing empty desert instead of the real port. For weeks, the illusion worked flawlessly. German intelligence never realized they'd been tricked by stage lighting and smoke machines. Maskelyne later said, "It wasn't magic, it was engineering, art, and psychology." Maskelyne's most legendary feat came in 1942, before the Battle of El Alamein, one of the decisive moments of the entire war. The British planned a massive offensive against Rommel's Afrika Korps, but they needed to trick the Germans about where the attack would come from. So Maskelyne's team built an entire fake army in the south. Thousands of dummy tanks, fake supply trucks, even wooden aircraft lined up like a real airfield. Meanwhile, they disguised the real army in the north by covering tanks with canvas tops shaped like trucks. To enemy scouts, it looked like the main attack would come from the south, so Rommel moved his troops right into the trap. When the real assault began, the Germans were completely unprepared. The deception helped secure a crushing Allied victory at El Alamein, marking the turning point in the North African campaign. The illusion had worked, and Jasper Maskelyne had become, unofficially, the man who fooled Rommel. By now, Maskelyne's fame within the military had grown. He trained others in deception tactics, camouflage, and psychological warfare. He even designed mobile sun shields to hide moving tanks by breaking up their shadows and reflections. Another stroke of wartime artistry. His unit became known as the Magic Gang, a mix of artists, stage technicians, and engineers who combined creativity with deadly effectiveness. Their motto could have been victory through illusion. Not every story about Maskelyne can be fully proven. Some are clearly embellished by wartime rumor and his own flair for showmanship. But even skeptics agree. His work inspired later operations like Operation Fortitude, the fake invasion force led by Patton before D-Day. Whether or not every detail was true, one fact remained: his illusions saved lives. After the war, Maskelyne returned to the stage, performing magic again. But now his tricks carried a deeper meaning. He'd seen how illusion could change history. He wrote his memoir, Magic Top Secret, claiming credit for many wartime deceptions. Historians still debate how much was real and how much was theatrical exaggeration. But one thing's undeniable: his work blurred the line between art and warfare, between illusion and strategy. Even if some of his stories were enhanced, the foundation of wartime deception Fake armies, dummy tanks, phantom radio chatter, all trace back to the same spirit of creativity that Maskelyne embodied. In the end, Jasper Maskelyne's war wasn't fought with bullets or bombs. It was fought with mirrors, lights, and imagination. He showed that victory isn't just about strength, it's about imagination, about daring your enemy to believe a lie so convincingly that it becomes their reality. Jasper Maskelyne understood something most generals never did. You don't always need more firepower. Sometimes you just need a better story. Because in war, belief can be deadlier than a bullet. While others fought with steel, Jasper fought with perception. He turned fear into a weapon, misdirection into a shield. Where a normal officer saw impossible terrain, Jasper saw a blank stage, and he painted illusions across it. Illusions that saved convoys, protected ports, and turned entire armies the wrong way. He proved that the battlefield isn't only drawn on maps. It exists inside the enemy's mind. But when the war ended, something unexpected happened. The magician who once fooled Rommel returned to a world that wasn't sure it believed him. Some called him a liar, others a legend. Historians debated his claims. Military officials went silent. Because how do you credit a man who fought with shadows? How do you honor victories that left no smoking guns? Only confused enemies and untouched cities? Yet even as they questioned him, they copied him. Operation Fortitude, the elaborate hoax that convinced Hitler the D-Day invasion would land at Calais, not Normandy, used dummy tanks, fake radios, and illusion tactics straight from Maskelyne's playbook. Modern armies now train units in psychological warfare, decoys and misinformation, disciplines inspired by illusion, not artillery. Jasper's hand was invisible, but it echoed through every deception that followed. Some say he exaggerated, others claim he mythologized himself. And perhaps he did. But isn't that what magicians do? They blur the line between fact and fable, not to lie, but to show us a deeper truth. That war isn't only fought with weapons, it's fought with belief, fear, and perception. Maskelyne didn't destroy armies. He destroyed certainty. In his later years, performing again on quiet stages, he was no longer just making rabbits vanish. He was a man who had once made cities disappear, one who had replaced firepower with foresight, a magician who knew that the greatest illusion is the one that no one realizes was an illusion at all. As he wrote in his memoir, magic is not about tricking the eye. It's about controlling what people believe. And in World War II, belief shaped the battlefield. Remember his name. So when you think of war heroes, don't just picture generals and soldiers. Remember the man with a deck of cards in one hand and the fate of armies in the other. Jasper Maskelyne, the illusionist who turned war into theater and proved that sometimes the greatest weapon is the mind. Please subscribe for more videos, like and comment. Thanks.